Hi, welcome back to Zach of All Trades. I'm Zach, and I have got a serious brush problem. But if the hype is to be believed, I've just picked up the thing that's going to make all my problems go away. Well, my brush problems anyway. Do you know what this is? No, despite its homely appearance, this is not some sort of an unholy union between a Victorian-era baby stroller and a lawnmower. No. This is a 1996 model DR field and brush mower, manufactured by the Bachtold Brothers Incorporated of Gibson City, Illinois. And since we have a custom in our house of naming everything, in honor of our dear friend Joselito, this guy has been dubbed Mozelito. We miss you, buddy. People absolutely rave about these things, and today I'm going to put it to the test.
But before I do, I need to do something really quick, partially for the lawyers and partially for myself and my family. This will take me just over a minute, so please bear with me. Some time ago, there was a big safety recall on these mowers. The corrective action that was the outcome was to install an operator presence switch, otherwise known as a dead man switch, to keep you from hurting yourself. Now, ordinarily, I am not a safety Sally, and I'm not an advocate of bubble wrapping the world to keep you from hurting yourself. But what this dead man switch does is it shuts off the mower as soon as you let go of it. Given the fact that I am going to be mowing up hills, down hills, side hills, everything in between, where it would be fairly easy for a guy to slip and wind up underneath the mower, I would really hate to lose my leg up to the knee knowing that I have this dead man switch on my workbench not installed. So I went ahead and put it on. It's a pretty clever design. It just grounds out the shutoff switch to the frame through this little paddle lever. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. And now that we know that it works, back to the action.
Although it has seen lots of use, this one has been really well taken care of and is mechanically in really good condition. I've seen these things listed anywhere from between $450 to about $1,200. I paid somewhere in the middle, and if this thing lives up to all the ruckus, I think a very fair price for what I got. Right off the bat though, there is one thing that I am somewhat concerned about. These tires are about 1.75 inches wide and are hardened rubber with almost no tread on them. I mean, you can see that they're shiny, they're practically racing slicks. They've got no tread and they're cracked. Some of the brush that I have to deal with is on fairly flat, even ground. But I also have some real terrain that I'd like to get cleared. So I'm not going to bore you guys by detailing all the various brush removal methods that I've employed and the progression that has brought me to this point. Suffice to say, it's been many. And I'm also not going to waste your time by starting out on tender little brush on nice flat ground. That's not what you came here for. Let's get after it. I would say that my concerns about bald, hard tires on terrain were unwarranted. And this brush isn't exactly little stuff either. Some of this stuff is nearly finger size, some smaller, but it's not tiny little brush. Let's see if we can find something steeper. I forgot to mention it before I started filming that last part, but this camera is level. What you saw going up the hill behind me, that's actual. I think that my fears about the tread on the tires were absolutely unfounded. I can't even imagine what this thing would go up if it had some tread on the tires. One of the cool things about it that I notice is that if it starts losing traction, you push down on the handlebars, and that does two things. That lightens the load on the blade. So if you're cutting through something while you run out of traction, it lightens the load on the blade, and it also transfers all that weight back to those narrow tires, and it just keeps going. You saw at one point that I was a little bit stuck right there because it's probably twice as steep in that one little bump right there, and there was a bunch of brush stopping the tires right there.
Now, lest I be accused of not having enough gratuitous brush destruction action here to warrant my glee over this mower, I figured I'd throw in some of this other footage that I took of mowing through some pretty heavy stuff, and quite a bunch of it. That first part was a pretty big area that took me about 26 minutes to completely clear out. This brush is not dead dry stuff. This is actually green brush. It's just springtime and it hasn't leaked out yet. This right here was where I discovered that you can actually overfeed this thing. If you stuff too much in it, it will stop the blade. But it's easy to unclog, and off you go.
I hope that satisfied your curiosity about how steep of a hill the DR field and brush mower will mow on. I hope it satisfies your curiosity as to whether it's worth it. I'm not kidding you. Knowing what I paid for this thing, I would think that it's worth about twice what I paid for it. To me, having as much brush as I've got to take care of and watching where this thing will go, and it pretty much will go everywhere. I'd say if you come across one of these things for a decent price and you got some brush to mow, man, go for it. I would not hesitate. I sure appreciate you watching my demonstration. We'll see you later. Take care.